Joyce Flowers at Delightful Quilting and Sewing with a video tutorial on Quiltmagine. Did you know that Quiltmagine has a brand new look, large, easy to navigate buttons, and many helps easily accessible from the home screen? Let me take you on a tour of the updated Quiltmagine. If you recently updated Quiltmagine, this is what your screen looks like. It is now Quiltmagine Pro. On the main screen we have large buttons for select and sew for stitching blocks, large pantograph button to stitch pantographs, of course, buttons on the right for pattern CAD, quilt CAD, and record, and other helpful things around the screen as well. If you purchased Quiltmagine Basic, this is what your screen looks like. Again, a large button to access select and sew for quilting blocks, your pantograph button, and helps up here and over here on your screen, easily accessible. If you have purchased a subscription to Quiltmagine Gold, this is what your screen looks like. You have one additional button right here for the borders, as well as some other useful features that are found within the program itself. As I walk you through this tutorial on the helps that are found now within Quiltmagine, you may want to have your tablet with you. This would be a good time to pause the video and go get your tablet and get it started, and then restart the video. On the home screen, one of the most useful things that we have easily accessible is right on the left-hand side. User manuals. By tapping on user manuals, we open up the files that are saved in your computer where the help files are located, that include Pano Stacker, Pattern CAD, placement methods, plugins, print and record, Quilt CAD, and sewing prep guide. These are available to you regardless of which tier of Quiltmagine you own. In the space that's around the user manuals, the Grace Company has made this a spot that they can post notice or perhaps a link to something that might be useful to a Quiltmagine owner. So keep your eyes open when you start up Quiltmagine. At some point you may see something pop up in this space under user manuals or above user manuals on the left hand side of the screen, and be sure to click on it and see if it's anything that will be helpful to you. On the right hand side, underneath the help button and the exit button, is something that I think you'll find helpful as well. Right here, right now you'll notice that the indicator light is red and it says not connected, which is true because I'm working from my desktop and I'm definitely not connected to my long arm. If I am connected to my long arm and everything is hooked up the way it should be, this light will turn green and the message will say connected. If you are working at your long arm and this is a red light that says not connected when it should be connected, you need to check it out and make sure what's going on to see why it is getting the not connected indication here. Something is definitely not right if it's supposed to be connected. We're going to take a look at the help button up in the top right to see what else is included in helps now. The Grace Company has included more helps than we had available to us before. The About button, the top one on the left, when we select, brings up information about our version of Quiltmagine that we are running. This is 4.01.68, the latest update that came out in December of 2017. It includes information about the motor model, the firmware, and all of that. Because I am not connected and it knows I'm not connected, there is no information here, of course. What is important down here is the sewing machine information. When I open this up, it tells me Knowlton Pro Series 24, which is the machine that I had been using. You should check this just to make sure that the machine setting here is what it should be, so that your software can interface with your hardware and your machine properly. If it is not what it should be, check on this button down here, click on it, change sewing machine model, and it comes up with a list of available machines. You'll notice that there are Fun Quilter and Pro series of various throat lengths available, along with the Quilting NV. The Quilting NV is a new button here. If you have an NV machine, you need to change your selection to the Quilting NV. The Grace Company has done a lot of work to make the settings work correctly with the NV for the smoothest stitching. So change your setting now to the NV. If you are running a CLX machine that has the two-stage single stitch button, one press for down and one press for up, you need to make a selection from the correct or closest throat length from the Fun Quilter series. If you're running Pro, of course you want to select Pro series, or if you're running the older style commercial machine that has a single stage single stitch button, one press for down and up, then you should choose from the Quilting Pro series in an appropriate throat length. I'm going to leave my settings as they are. Back out of this screen, back out of this one, clicking OK. One other thing that I wanted to show you on the screen about Quiltmagine are the features. Over on the right hand side is a list of the features that are included in, this is Quiltmagine Pro that I have here, all of the features that are included in that. If you are running the basic, you will have a slightly different list, and if you're running the gold, you will have a different list as well. It will have a few more features that are listed in the list right here. Again, on our help menu, the help topics, this button will access the very same thing that our user manuals button did over here on the left. When I tap on it, it brings up the same file list that we had before. The tutorials button is a new button as well. When we tap on it, right now it says there are currently no tutorials present. At some point there will be tutorials that will be added in here that you will be able to access that will help give instruction on some of the features that you find in Quiltmagine. But for now there are none right here. You will notice that online access is on. What this is telling me is that as I'm using Quiltmagine with online access on, Quiltmagine will constantly be going out looking for updates, as well as perhaps other parts of your tablet will be looking for updates. It says click on the on-off indicator above to enable and disable online access. I can change this to off by tapping on that. And now online access is off, and my tablet will not keep going out looking for updates for Quiltmagine. However, when I want it to go out and look for updates, I need to come back to the same spot and turn it on. It says when online access is on, you may check for software updates and new notifications. So if you turn it off, make sure you come back and turn it on so that you can look for updates for Quiltmagine. The next button on the left is Enter Keys. Here we can enter the registration keys and the card activation keys. This is important when you first update your Quiltmagine because you will need to enter the access key in the space right here. The other button is card activation key. If you purchase the gold subscription, this is where you need to come to activate the gold by tapping on card activation key. It brings up a screen where you can enter right here the activation key that is on that card. It is a card that looks like a credit card, but it has the card activation key number on it, along with some instructions. And there's also a place that you can enter the place of purchase, your dealer directly from Quilting, however you received that gold subscription. The bottom button on the left side of the help menu is software management. This brings up another screen where you can check information on your account, you can check for updates, or you can deactivate the software on this device. And I want to talk about check for updates and deactivate software. Checking for updates, you have three options. You can update now from online files. You can copy the updates to a memory stick, or you can update from a memory stick. So this gives you some options as to how you want to download your update, whether onto a memory stick or into your desktop, and then transfer it to a memory stick to update your tablet. The other option on this screen, deactivate software on this device, is something that you need to be aware of. The Grace Company gives you permission to load Quiltmagine on 3 separate devices. This is loaded on my second device, which is my desktop. I have it loaded on my first device, which is a tablet. And if I wanted to load it onto something else, for example, another tablet or another desktop or a laptop computer, I could do that. However, if I wanted to load it onto a 4th device, I must first deactivate it from one of the other devices. And this is where you go to do that. Under Software Management and Manage Software, you come here to deactivate it from the device. So you want to be on that device that you want to deactivate it from before you click something that says deactivate software on this device. One of the other new buttons found in the Help menu is the Repair Kit, which I think you'll find interesting as well. When you open it, there's a couple of options here: reload USB drivers, slider panel, some information on that and how to fix it. Those things you would access if Grace Company told you to do that. The one that you might be more interested in is this one right here, Log Me in Remote Support. Occasionally, when something doesn't work right on your tablet, it's not interfacing properly with your hardware, or any other issue, you may need to call the Grace Company for some support. This little button, Log Me in Remote Support, when I tap on it, will bring up my browser and access the Grace Company. To use this feature, the first thing that you need to do is you need to call the Grace Company and tell them that you need support. They will tell you to go find that little button under the Repair Kit. You will press on it, it will bring up this rescue screen, already accessing them through the internet, and on the phone they will give you a 6-digit code for you to enter in this space right here. Once you've entered that code, you will follow the instructions that they give you. You will tap on this one that says Start Download, and then there will be some other screens that pop up that they will walk you through and tell you where to tap. And when you walk through all of those, then you will be logged directly in securely to their network so that they can help you with any issues that you might have remotely from their connection right into your tablet. The next item on the Help menu is Notifications. There are currently no notifications. If there were, they would pop up on the screen right here, and of course it would have something to do with your software. And the final button is Download Patterns. The message that pops up right now, you have the latest pattern sets. Okay. If I didn't have the latest pattern sets, they would be indicated in a list on the left-hand side. I would be able to select them and download them directly into Quiltmagine. This is something that they're hoping to do in the future with updates, is to have other pattern sets available, and with the gold subscription pattern sets that would be available. So look here once in a while and see if there might be pattern sets that are new that you could add to your pattern library. In the very bottom right of the screen is a little button that says Try Other Product Tiers. When I tap on this button, a new screen opens up that displays the 3 tiers of Quiltmagine: the Basic, the Pro, and the Gold subscription. Along the left-hand side is a list of features, and the bullets indicate which features are available with each of the levels. And you'll notice that the farther you go over, Gold of course has more added on to the Pro level. These are all features down here that are found in the Gold subscription. So if you're ever wondering about what you have or would like to see what is available in the other levels, for example, if you have basic Quiltmagine and you would like to see what else you would get if you moved up to Quiltmagine Pro, just bring up the chart and look at it. Even more, you can tap on the space up here, Basic, Pro, or Gold, to see how those features actually work. For example, if I had Basic and I wanted to see what Pano Stacker was all about, I could tap on Pro at the top, and the software has these things in them so that you can check them out, you can play with them. You cannot save anything and you cannot stitch anything, but it does give you an opportunity to at least play a little bit with what those features are and decide whether it's something that you would like to move up to the Pro or from the Pro to the Gold. Well, this is a brief overview of some of the changes on the home screen, some of the useful helps that you'll find now in Quiltmagine that are more easily accessible than they were before, new buttons and new helps that are available to make your experience with Quiltmagine even better. There are new features as well in the updates in the program itself, and we'll talk about those in other videos. Thank you for watching.